great.
Where are you calling from?
Germany,
Germany.
not Denmark. Hi, Jon.
Hi there, Katrine. Great to see you.
So touched to be here.
Great to see you.
Just before my question, letting you know, the first day you mentioned we are in a retreat together. That was a big sentence. So I feel together with all the people I'm on the way with, really day and night being on the retreat with
Wonderful.
You and all the people here and many more people. So thank you very much for mentioning that from the beginning. And my question is one of the many questions, the one I point now. You like saying, don't take so personal, which is actually not personal at all. And could you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, thanks for remembering that. That is a favorite meme of mine. When we're cultivating mindfulness of our thoughts or emotions, as we've been speaking about from time to time during the times that we've been gathering like this, it's not hard to notice that we get into a thought stream that's very much a story. It's what we would call in English a narrative, and usually we are the center of the narrative. It's always a story about me. That's why I mentioned in other context, the personal pronouns I, me, and mine. So it's the story of me. And we take everything personally because it's like, well, how does this pandemic affect me? How does it affect my parents, my children, my life, my work, my everything else? There's nothing wrong with that. That's totally commonsensical. Of course, we would have to do that. But then there's a way in which we can actually feel like that's the end of the story, that it's just a problem that I have to solve, instead of realizing that it really is profoundly impersonal and we're caught up in something that doesn't have anything to do with us, even though we may suffer greatly from the consequences of it. But when we tell ourselves the small story, what gets lost is the much bigger story of who we actually are when we let go of the little story of I, me, and mine, and we can actually move into more of a sort of collective we and also a collective don't know, a collective not knowing. So that is a form of liberation because it doesn't imprison us or handcuff us to this narrative where then we have to blame somebody for the way things are. Somebody is to blame, whether it's government officials or, we're always looking for scapegoats. And that can create an enormous amount of delusion, ignorance, anger, and harm, both to ourselves and to other people who wind up being the scapegoats. And that's where racism and all sorts of things come into the picture when we are caught up in thinking I'm the only one who is suffering, or my suffering is the most important, or it's like my family is the only family that's really going through this. And when we recognize that we are all in this together, then we're actually cultivating a much deeper connectivity to what human beings are in the first place. So so that's really the point of emphasizing not to take personally what's really not personal. But the way you do that is by noticing, by coming to be fully aware of how personally we take everything that comes at us, how much we turn it into the story of me. But you see, the awareness of that, just as this has been a theme for days now, the awareness of that is not taking anything personally. And so that's your escape hatch. That's your door out of that when you see what you're doing, and then you realize that's a form of suffering and a form of ignorance in its own right. Amazing. Nice to see you again. And if I remember correctly, the last time I saw you is it true that it was on Parliament Hill in Ottawa a long time ago?
Oh, it was all over the world.
Okay.
Never mind where the last time was.
Never mind. Okay.
But just letting you know, the question is actually not my question. It came from one of the people who joining me, and out of what I'm learning here during the week, I'm meditating with my group on Saturday.
Wonderful.
So she gets a great answer from you now. Thank
Okay,
you so
well,
much.
thank you.
And me too.
Thank you.
John.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
So
Great.
the other thing I say is don't take seriously, don't take seriously what's really, don't take any of what I say too seriously.
No.
Okay. So you have to examine this for yourself. It's not like, oh, I'm the big expert and I'm going to tell you why the personal pronouns are problematic. The whole invitation is to examine it and experiment for yourself. So I'll just say to everybody now, don't take seriously everything that I'm saying. And I'm serious about that.
I know. Thank you, John.